and welcome to another insightful edition of the Tax Talk, a program that helps viewers understand the seemingly complex issues on taxation and tax administration, particularly in Lagos State. I'm your host, Oyinlola Sale. I'm glad to let you know that we've lined up a variety of segments that will empower you with knowledge and insights to help you master your taxes. From the latest news in business to our spotlight on the big story, there is so much more to look forward to. This is the Tax Talk.
This is business news. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has signed the 2024 Appropriation Bill into law. Mr. Sanwo-Olu had on December 13 presented a 2.2 trillion naira budget of renewal to the House of Assembly for consideration and approval. Subsequently, the House raised the total budget size to 2.267 trillion naira, with 1.31 trillion naira allocated to capital expenditure and 952 billion naira allocated to recurrent expenditure. The budget size represents a ratio of 58.42. According to Sanwo-Olu, shortly after signing the budget, the approved budget size is 21.74 billion naira higher than what was presented to the House of Assembly due to additional provisions to enforce completion of ongoing projects. The impact of this appropriation law will be determined by the effectiveness of its implementation. We are determined to ensure that the goals and objectives of this budget are maximally realized for the benefit of all Lagosians and in line with the theme developmental agenda. End of quote. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Bafemi Hamzat, Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Bimbola Saluhudeyi, members of the State Executive Council and members of the House of Assembly, led by Deputy Speaker Mrs. Mojisola Miranda, attended the brief signing ceremony. The Lagos State Internal Revenue Service has reminded employers to submit their yearly tax returns on or before January 31, 2024 deadline of phase actions. Executive Chairman of LIRS, Mr. Ayodele Zubair, who said this in a statement, added that employers with businesses within the state must adhere to the deadline, as those who fail to do so will be sanctioned. Zubair reiterated that the exclusive platform for filing annual income tax returns in Lagos State is the LIRS e-tax portal, etax.lirs.net, as manual filing is no longer permissible. He urged businesses and employers to leverage the e-tax portal for filing, citing its user-friendly, convenient, and secure nature. According to him, quote, "The e-tax portal is designed for the convenience of taxpayers, making tax transactions easily accessible from the comfort of homes and offices." He emphasized that the taxpayer ID is a mandatory requirement for employers to file their annual income tax returns on the e-tax portal. Employers within the state are advised to generate a taxpayer ID for their employees and to file their payee returns through the e-tax portal. To facilitate compliance and address any filing-related concerns, LIRS has designated staff at its various offices to assist taxpayers in utilizing the e-tax portal. For additional information or inquiries, taxpayers are encouraged to visit the agency's website www.lirs.gov.ng or follow LIRS on social media platforms at lirs.gov.ng or reach out via email at etaxinfo@lirs.net or contact the LIRS customer care 0700 2255 5477. And that's it on business news.
Hello, sir. Good evening. How may I assist you?
I made a reservation for a room. My name is Ahmad.
Excellent, Mr. Amodu. A moment, please. You made a reservation for our deluxe suite for 2 nights. That will be 150,000 naira, sir. How would you like to make payment? Cash or card?
Card.
Okay. Thank you. Savings or current, sir?
Current.
Your PIN, please.
Thank you. You don't charge 5% consumption tax here.
No, sir. We don't do that.
Really? You're running a hospitality business and you're not charging 5% consumption tax?
No.
Hold on a minute. Hey bro,
Alpha.
yeah, I am at an apartment in Ogba and the receipt issued to me did not reflect the payment or deduction of consumption tax.
Oh, really? Thanks for the heads up. I will send a team to investigate.
I mean, they should be penalized.
Attention, all service apartment owners and operators in the hospitality business in Lagos State must charge and remit consumption tax to LIRS. Failure to comply is a contravention of the extant provisions in Section 9 of the HORC Law 2009, which attracts penalties as stipulated in Section 10 and 11 of the same law. Stay on the right side of the law.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's time to dive into our big story of the day: filing of individual annual tax returns. Filing of annual tax return can seem like a daunting task, but it's a vital responsibility that ensures one's remain compliant with tax regulations. Our crop of experts provide insights and equip us with the knowledge we need to navigate it successfully.
This is the big story. Every year, businesses and individuals are required to file their annual tax returns, a mandatory submission of financial and operational information to the relevant tax authority. This sheds light on their financial standing, structure, and operations. This mandate is not just a formality. It is a crucial obligation set forth by the tax law to keep the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service informed about their activities. Despite these, there are prevalent misconceptions, especially among employers of labor and sole proprietors, who fear heavy taxation if they diligently file their annual tax returns with the LIRS. Today, we aim to dispel these myths and provide insight from experts in the field.
Tax filing is actually a statutory requirement. It is what the law has asked to do, which is the Personal Income Tax Act 2004 as amended, Federal Laws of Nigeria.
I see payment of tax as a very basic responsibility for any businessman. And so because of that, every year it is taken seriously that we do our accounts and make sure we render our returns and we pay our tax. Religiously over the years, we've been doing that. For this year now, the tax already paid and the certificate is already here. And that's what we do every year. We watch for that latest by 31st March to make sure that we have done the needful.
According to experts, a contributing factor to these misconceptions is the perception of tax filing as a burdensome and time-consuming task. Some taxpayers may avoid or neglect their tax obligations driven by the belief that the effort involved outweighs the benefits. However, LIRS has undergone significant improvement, emphasizing convenience over complexity in the filing process.
We've been able to add a whole lot of technology to make life simple for everybody. Right in the convenience of your bedroom, you can pay your tax. We have this enterprise platform we call e-tax, enterprise tax. Everybody should register there. As of today, on our e-tax platform, we have about 4.6 registered individuals paying tax, with about 113 corporate entities registered. In as much as we don't collect CIT, which is company income tax, they have an obligation to render returns to us through the Form H1, which will contain the wages, deductions of all their staff that render tax to us under PAYE, payee, that's pay as you earn.
Tax experts assert that many businesses lack a proper understanding of the advantages of filing annual tax returns. Beyond projecting a company as tax compliant, it opens doors to government incentives, such as grants or loans, among others.
There are a lot of benefits for filing of returns. One of such benefits is tax clearance certificates. Obviously, because it's a statutory requirement, if people don't pay and file for their taxes, then there are penalties. You could have your penalties carried or your taxes carried forward for next year's deductions. And then you could also claim, for deductions of your withholding taxes. So the penalties, the benefits are there for people to get their taxes.
As a company, if you want to bid for contracts, part of the requirements you submit is tax clearance certificate. So it means, as a business owner, if I don't do that, that means I will not be able to. So also the same thing about when it comes to grants or loans, especially these current administrations that they are trying to roll out some palliatives for not individual alone, also businesses. So I believe that tax clearance certificate is also part of the requirement that one must also issue. Also, if as a business owner, if you're also dealing with some well-established organizations like some international organizations present here in Nigeria, and you want to do business with them, they also request for this. So if I don't have it, it means if care is not taken, I'm going to be out of business. I will not be able to take opportunities available.
In the meantime, just as there are penalties for failing to file tax returns, there are corresponding benefits.
The penalties for not filing tax returns, if you look on the Personal Income Tax Act, Section 94 of the Personal Income Tax Act, Section 1, does charge individuals who have not filed their returns on their returns. I think the penalty for that is about 50,000 for individuals, and for corporate entities, which is on Section 94, subsection 4, charges corporate entities about 500,000 for non-filing of their returns.
If you fall into the trap of not paying your tax, the consequences are serious. You can go to jail. We have cases of past presidents in America now that have been in trouble because of tax evasion. And even in a place like South Africa here, if you avoid your tax, avoid payment of their actual tax, you can find yourself in trouble.
Since the scope of filing annual returns and paying taxes as and when due is bound to both businesses and individuals, as mandated by Personal Income Tax Act and Nigerian Constitution respectively, then what do these laws say about the deadlines?
It does say that individuals and corporate entities must file their returns to the agency on or before the 31st of March for individuals, and for corporate entities, they have to file their returns from 1st of January to 31st of January. Now, what the returns involve is that for individuals who are filing returns on their income shall do so using our portal, which is etax.lirs.net. Once they log in with their taxpayer ID, they'll be able to click on the returns tab and then be able to file the return on their income for the preceding year. For corporate entities, they also would do so for the preceding year. They also would log in with their corporate entities for logging with their tax ID. Now, for corporate entities, it's a little bit different because they would have to file returns on their annual returns for the preceding years. They would have to file returns on their projections, file returns on their payment schedule, and then withholding tax schedules. And to also do so, they would also do so by logging into our e-tax portal, which is etax.lirs.net. Once they sign in with the corporate payer ID and the corresponding password, they'll be able to move on to the returns tab and download the templates. Uploading the same templates back with their information would have completed the filing for the year.
Whether you are operating a business or employed, understanding the deadline for tax filing is paramount. For employers of labor, the deadline for filing tax returns as pay-as-you-earn taxes typically falls within a specific period, which ends on the 31st of January every year. It's a time when companies give report on the remittances made with respect to their employees while ensuring compliance with tax regulations. The self-employed individuals are not left out. The deadline for filing their returns is equally significant. It usually occurs annually and ends on 31st of March every year. These deadlines are crucial to avoid penalties and maintain a healthy financial standing, especially with the LIRS.
It is very important for any businessman to make sure that he keeps his papers very well. You can invite them, you can tell them this is not right. This is the genuine business I'm doing, and these are my papers, this is the profit I've made. And I think if you do it that way, you don't have anything to be afraid of. Tax people should really be our friends.
People hear tax and they get scared. But the agency is very friendly, and we've created a structure where you really do not have to come to the tax office to be able to fulfill your tax obligations. Even when you are in diaspora, you can as well go on the e-tax portal and file your returns, pay your tax, make inquiries. We have the customer care that you can call and have your questions answered. We have the Twitter, we have the Instagram handles, and then we have the 40 tax stations and we have the 40-minute tax stations. So you have like over 80 tax stations and the head office, making 81, where you can go and within proximity to have your tax issues resolved. And the beauty of it also is that we have tax friendly staff who are there, knowledgeable and ready to attend to your needs. And for the informal sector, we have people that speak Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. So you do not have a language barrier as far as paying your tax is concerned. And we also do what is called tax structures, where you can, even as an association, have us come to your association, and we get to have a timetable of all the locations that you have, and we structure a timetable that we come to wherever you are within the state and ensure that you are able to pay your taxes for yourself and for your association members with ease. So those are a few of the things that we do within the LIRS to ensure that paying your tax is not stressful and it comes with the ease of doing business that we promote within the state.
The little that each and every one of us does is Ujama of a sort. You know, Ujama is that South African slogan that says, if I win, you win. If you win and I lose, you haven't won. If I win, you have not won. You know, we all come together for joint prosperity to make sure that we do the needful that needs to be sacrificed. And if that sacrifice is not made at my little corner, at your own little niche, it's going to cost both of us heavier than we expect.
The Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS, is responsible for administering and collecting taxes within Lagos State. The LIRS requires certain taxes to be filed, including personal income tax, withholding tax, and consumption tax. These are just a few taxes to be filed with the LIRS. And for more information, visit the LIRS website on www.lirs.gov.ng.
Hello, sir. Good evening. How may I assist you?
I made a reservation for a room. My name is Ahmad.
Excellent, Mr. Amodu. A moment, please. You made a reservation for our deluxe suite for 2 nights. That will be 150,000 naira, sir. How would you like to make payment? Cash or card?
Card.
Okay. Thank you. Savings or current, sir?
Current.
Your PIN, please.
Thank you. You don't charge 5% consumption tax here?
No, sir. We don't do that.
Really? You're running a hospitality business and you're not charging 5% consumption tax?
No.
Hold on a minute. Hey, bro.
Alpha.
Yeah, I am at an apartment in Ogba, and the receipt issued to me did not reflect the payment or deduction of consumption tax.
Oh, really? Thanks for the heads up. I will send a team to investigate.
I mean, they should be penalized.
Attention, all service apartment owners and operators in the hospitality business in Lagos State must charge and remit consumption tax to LIRS. Failure to comply is a contravention of the extant provisions in Section 9 of the HORC Law 2009, which attracts penalties as stipulated in Section 10 and 11 of the same law. Stay on the right side of the law.
As seen in the big story, taxation is woven around our income, and understanding it is the first step towards making informed financial decisions. Let's take a break and we will be right back. And that's our show for today on the Tax Talk. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Join us in our next episode for another enlightening discussion on the Tax Talk. Until then, my name is Oyinlola Sally. Stay informed, stay tax compliant.